notice two things going on here. One, the devil's busy. He's always busy. Don't expect him to take a day off. We're commanded to take a day off, right? Satan doesn't. He's always busy. He's lying to Judas. He's trying to get him to betray Jesus, and he does. But the point is, on the one hand, you have Satan scheming, Satan conniving, Satan tricking, right? And on the other hand, you have this verse where it says, Jesus knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands. So we have God's sovereignty. Yeah, the world's crazy. Many people are worried about nuclear war at this point. Their hearts are broken. My heart's broken for the people of Ukraine. We see evil in the world. We don't know what's going to happen to our economy. How is Ukraine? What's going to happen with Ukraine? We don't know. There's so many things that seem out of control. God is sovereign. God is in control. Ultimately, he's in control. He is not fallen off his throne. He never will. He is the mighty God, the Holy One, and he loves us. So that's the good news for what we're going through in this world. So verse 4, it says that Jesus suddenly took off his outer garments and took a towel and tied it around his waist. What? He's undressing to be like a servant, like a slave of the house. And you got to wonder, let's enter the mind of the disciples, what's going on here? Hey, Sherry. Wow, what a great turnout tonight. What's going on here? What's Jesus doing? The disciples are like, why is he dressed like this? He's dressed like a servant. They're confused. They want him to be the Messiah. Remember, they wanted to be the king. They want him to do their will. Right? They want Jesus to become the Jesus they want him to be. They want him to meet the needs they feel pressing upon them. Roman rule, maybe hunger, struggles, just like us. Right? But Jesus is unwilling to fit our mold. He's unwilling to become the Jesus we want him to be. He will not be the Jesus we make in our own image. He won't be the Jesus that's our consultant. He won't be the Jesus that is not a king, right? Not a Lord. So then what does he do? He poured water into a basin. Uh-oh. Here it comes. And he began to wash the disciples' feet. In that culture, that is shame. That is something that even servants were not asked to do. Like, he dressed like a servant, and then he did something that not even servants would do. Now, I want you to think about something. Back then, they didn't have taxis or Ubers. They walked everywhere. And Jesus, they've been walking for years, basically. Their feet, how dirty were they? All they had was sandals. So washing the feet is not like what Dana likes to get once in a while. What is it called? A pedicure? It's not like that. It's like their feet were filthy. Filthy. All right? So for Jesus to do this, if you just step into their shoes in their sandals, right? Just enter their minds for a second, like, what? He washed their feet? They're probably all in shock, which makes sense then of what happens next. He came to Simon Peter, and Simon Peter said, Lord, do you wash my feet? I think that's how he said it. I don't think he was asking a question like, am I next? No. He's like, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus, I don't think so. So kind of what he's saying. Jesus, you kind of crossed the line here. How far? Like, do you understand how you're making yourself look right now? It's a shameful act you're doing. Jesus answered, what I'm doing you don't understand now, but afterward you will understand. Like Peter, trust me. Right? You don't have to know what's going on right now. Later you'll get this. And Peter says, okay, Lord, do it. No! What does he say? Being Peter, the Peter who's consistent in all the Gospels, he says, after Jesus says, trust me on this, in the vernacular, Peter says, never. You'll never wash my feet. Never. He pushed Jesus. He pushed Jesus further than Jesus was willing to be pushed. Jesus' reply sounds so harsh, and I think it is harsh for us. It's harsh for Peter. It's harsh for a reason. It's harsh because it matters that Jesus isn't willing to compromise on this. It matters because there's something in the way of our relationship with Jesus, and Jesus is alluding to it right now. This is what he says. If I do not wash your feet, Peter, you have no share with me. We're done. If you don't let me wash your feet, we're done. What? Why? Why? Why are we done?